Hi, good morning.
Hi, I'm Ruchi.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Vibray. Nice meeting you.
So, how is your day so far?
It's going really well. It's a good start today. I'm happy to interview for this position.
Yeah. So today we are conducting the interview for the law clerk. We are sending a law firm, and let's see.
How it goes? Okay.
Okay.
All the best to you. So tell us something about yourself first.
I was previously working full-time after I finished my program at Seneca a few years ago. I then returned to school to become a law clerk and do the accelerated version of the program because I found that in my prior work experience, I had really good skills and talents for analytical work as well as being very highly organized. I'm currently in one of the last semesters of the program, and it's sort of been what I'm focusing on right now.
Okay. So, what factors do you think stand as your strengths and weakness?
In terms of strengths, as I mentioned, organization. Beyond my personal life, I find academically as well as in the workforce, I'm highly organized, which is an asset. In terms of additional strengths, I would also comment on my emotional intelligence that goes along with my organization, allowing me to work really well with others on teams as well as in leadership positions. As a weakness, I would probably comment on, I would say my due diligence. So I find it very important to make sure that things are done in the best way, which in most environments it's really worked out, but in some environments it can be hindering in that it means I might look over something 4 or 5 times for perfection.
It's true, right? So you are more of perfection focused, right? You want perfection in everything, right?
I wouldn't say in everything, but I want to make sure that the best thing is the best version of my work is what I'm putting out there.
It's not really a weakness, but it pressurizes you. Like sometimes it messes with you, right? If I'm not wrong, like it put more pressure on you to do work, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I hold it up to a high standard, so there's
Yeah.
a lot of pressure at times.
Okay. So why did you choose this job as your career?
As I mentioned, my prior experience, I was doing a lot of, I would say, work that closely works with law clerks.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working with regulation affairs with the city, between them and an independent tech company. And so I found that as I worked more and more in that field, I really loved what I was doing, a bit more than what I was previously doing, what job I was hired to do. And so I thought it was really important that I go back to school and get the right credentials so that I can do that full time and make it a career since I love it so much.
Okay. So, as I see your previous job experiences, what do you think is a key to success, like key to communication while in public? I know you have to do that a lot, right?
Yes.
So,
So what I would say is really key is having a good understanding of your team. In all work environments nowadays, you work independently, but primarily as a group. And I think that's so important. I think having a great work environment and a good team allows you to really put your best efforts out there. It creates a system for you to rely on others when you need it. As I mentioned with the professions, that it means it can be a lot of pressure, but having a great team around you. And it also, I think having the skills to foster that team. So as I mentioned before, with my leadership skills, knowing who to talk to, how to approach situations. Again, just making sure that the best work is being done and put forward for the team and the company.
yeah, coordinated and all is important.
So you have worked before, right? So tell us about your best day at your work and the worst day at your work, and how do you handle it?
So the best work I think would be when we succeed, or so I'll give you a specific scenario. With what I was doing before, I was working there for about 3 years with Uber. That was the company, and being someone working in regulations, it meant that we received a lot of combat from not just the media and society, but like the government especially. And I would say one of my biggest successes were working with city councilors to have a streamlined process for registering the numbers of drivers. That was a huge win that was later on recognized globally. And so I think that was my best day because it wasn't just something that I had done, it was a suggestion that came from me but then went through multiple teams to successfully allow the company to continue to work. So I think that's my most exciting or best day at work, and it wasn't just because of my success but how it helped the entire company. My worst day would probably be I can't think of one specifically, but I think at any time that things go the opposite direction, so you work really hard on something, actually I can't think of a specific, I worked really hard on a tax initiative, and 3 days before, the responding side said that they were not going to go in that direction, which meant that 3 months of work was now garbage.
Yeah.
And that was obviously very difficult and hard to handle. But handling it, the way that I handled it was just to move on and move forward, because looking at what they did respond with and turning it around to get the job done.
Okay. So if I call you boss today, what do you think you would tell about you? Your previous job?
Yeah, I think that they would say, Jan's the best. I really did foster really great connections and mentors in that environment. I believe that they would correspond with excitement that I've found a path that I really like and will hopefully be successful in. But yeah, I think that's fun.
Yeah.
So, do you have any conflict? Do you had any conflict at your workplace before?
I believe conflicts happen from time to time in any work environment, but it's again how you handle them. I wouldn't say major conflicts, no, not at all. But you do have people working in large companies, you get rub you the right way and rub you the wrong way, but it's knowing to respect that regardless, because they're employed there to do a job in the same way you are. So if they're not your best friend, they're still someone you respect and you treat well.
Sure. Nice. So as you have read your job's responsibilities and roles, which we have mentioned for a law clerk, what do you think, like list 2 or 3 of them and tell me how well you can handle those.
So in the job description, I know that you're looking for someone who is, again, organized, has the ability to manage corporate law, so has a knowledge of FASCO and other programs like that. I have attained knowledge through the Seneca program, and as I mentioned before, I'm highly organized. Additionally, I believe the requisition was looking for someone who is good at public speaking and has the typing speed required, which I do also assess. Have attained.
Okay, nice.
And if we hire you, do you have any particular goals for this job?
Yes.
So what goals do you have? Sorry.
Okay. So starting off as a recent graduate or student graduate, one of my goals is to again find a career or a position in a firm which allowed me to begin my career and gain experience. So that's what I'm primarily looking for. But I also am looking for a company that I can grow with. So it isn't just 1 year or 2 years, but I see myself 5 or 6 years down the line working with you in more maybe a senior position or a managerial position for other law clerks.
Okay. And how do you plan and organize your legal work? As I see here, you have worked in so many firms so far. So how do you plan and organize your work?
So I have I would say too meticulous system, but a very good one. I think that it's key when talking to lawyers or anyone who's giving direction to always have a notepad and pen so that I'll write everything down right away. Typing I think works, but I think writing is also really important because it gives you the ability to take fast notes or even if it's a doodle to help you remember something. From there, so from notes or lists, I'll then go through and prioritize them to make sure that the most important things will be what's done first and done well. In terms of folders or client documents, I use a very robust system from docketing to just archiving on computers, collecting information and archiving them on computers to make sure that again all of the right client documents are together in the right folders. And any memorandums or any other information is collected and put into those folders as well.
And do you have any experience of courtroom? Like, have you ever been to the courtroom?
Courtrooms? Yes, many years ago I had, for I think a school project, we did observe a courtroom setting, and so that was very interesting on my first time, but beyond that, no, I unfortunately haven't.
Okay. No.
Okay. And if you get this job, what are your goals and expectations from this job?
My goals, as I mentioned, is to achieve the position, learn the position, and then hopefully be promoted within my skill sets and talents towards a similar senior or where I'm able to continue to utilize the skills that I've learned. And what I'm hoping to get through is the experience to allow me to continue my growth.
Okay, good. So now, any questions do you have?
Yes, so I noticed in the requisition as well that you're looking for one corporate law clerk. Is this to join on as a team of other law clerks, or is this working with just one lawyer?
Most of the time it would be teamwork or
But
an individual both. So you should be prepared for both for now. Okay, like sometimes you have to work with teams, right? Like depending on your project, but most of the time you will be individual too.
it will depend on the case basically, I would say. Like if we have a small case, or a case that will not require like more than one or two lawyers, you have to work with individual lawyers particularly. But in case of corporate cases, like cases between a government and a corporate firm, then there will be like more than two or three lawyers will be required there, right? So you have to work with them as well. So,
And
yeah.
most of the time it would be challenging work. So I hope you are prepared for that, right? Okay. And what are your salary expectations?
I believe currently it's competitive, 43,000 per year. It would expect to start somewhere around there and hopefully grow depending on your company's package.
Okay, Jan. So now it's good.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we are done.
All right, it's lovely to meet you.
So we'll let you
Okay.
know about it soon, okay?
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you. Have a good day.
Bye.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.